What is going on, everybody? Ryan Leary, William Tincup here with the Barf. This is the look at the week that was, so you could prepare for the week that is. Ooh, we've come off a long week, haven't we?
Yes, we
It
have.
has been a
We
long
have.
week. We had great week
A
though.
good
A
week.
great week.
Yeah.
Yes, very good week.
Yeah.
We did HR Tech, which was
Yep.
fantastic with the
Thanks,
folks
Palma.
over at Fama had us at their booth, and for everyone that interviewed with us and podcasted. Then we went over to FutureWorks. So lovely event. Thank you all there as well. And then,
Indeed.
yeah, that was FutureWorks.
Yep. Indeed. FutureWorks. Yeah. Just
Indeed,
want to make sure that we
yeah.
get the company name in there with the conference name. But no worries. No worries, though.
Yeah,
We're
I
tracking.
got you.
We're tracking.
I got you. And
And
then
then we went to the lake house.
we went
Yeah.
to the lake house, and we buried our heads for days. We ate a shit
Yes,
ton
we
of
did.
food. Like a
Yes, we
ridiculous
did.
amount of food. In fact, they needed to get me an
Still
extender
recovering.
in the seat. I felt like they did. Although I don't think much damage was done, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks. We'll see
A
when
lot
it
of
catches
barbecue
up.
and Tex-Mex here in Texas, turns out.
I had my very first all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet. I never
Oh,
thought
boy.
I'd say that, especially on a recorded podcast.
Oh, it's mind-bending after you do it.
It was
And
amazing.
I believe you shot guns. You got to
I did.
shoot some
I
38s.
shot my first
Yeah.
ever gun. It took me 46 years, but I shot my first ever gun. Let me see if I get it right. A 38 special snub nose.
Correct.
I get it right?
Snubbies.
All right.
Yep.
And we
Yep.
got yelled at
Most-
from
Yeah.
one guy.
Don't worry, we'll shoot at him next time.
And I got to fish all in one
And
weekend.
you got to fish.
All in one weekend.
43 catch and release.
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
43 hybrid. We had a good time.
I've never caught 43 fish, so you did it in a morning. So
Yeah,
there you go.
It was definitely a good week, but we got a lot. Oh, and you introduced me to a plethora of bourbons. Like I became
that's
a
part of it.
man this weekend. Like I literally
So
became a man.
Well, here's the thing: we did not drink and shoot, although that has happened. We separated the two. I want to make sure the audience understands that there was shooting, comma,
Yes.
drinking, comma,
Yes.
eating.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the one thing about shooting pistols like that is the next time you listen to a rap song that's got gunfire in it,
Mm-hmm.
you'll think about those shots. It just
Wow.
it
It was loud. Maybe next time get me some
Yeah.
earplugs because it was like boom. People are like, yeah, dude, like you never shot a gun. Like, no, I've never shot a gun before. I never held a gun.
Yeah.
BB gun, paint gun, that was it. Yeah.
They're
Then
fun.
I had a great time,
Yeah.
but we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're gonna blitz
do.
through it
We
because
do.
we've
Let's do it.
just got a lot of stuff. So kick us off. What do you got?
Let's get into it. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, Stanford talk was awkwardly live streamed, and there's some interesting takeaways from this. So you can find this. The best place to find this is on Reddit, basically, and all you have to do is type in Eric Schmidt Stanford talk, and you'll see the video. Because YouTube, here's an interesting thing: YouTube keeps editing the video, so every time someone uploads it, they edit it. Because he, in one of his riffs, he says Google failed because they did blah, 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 blah. And so the YouTube's owned by Google, and so that keeps happening. But it's it's an everyday
I think
talk
I
at
saw
Stanford.
this. This was like he was on a stage,
Did you see
right?
some of
Like
this?
they were sitting on stage. He's sitting in the chair, right?
Yeah,
Did I see
yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
He went completely off the rails. He was definitely not wanting to looking at the talking notes. You got to watch the video, not on YouTube. You got to go through the Reddit thread. But here are 3 nuggets. Google's losing in AI because it cares too much about work-life balance.
That's the part I heard. Yeah, that is the part I heard.
Schmidt's basically saying if your team's only showing up one day to work a week, how are you going to beat OpenAI and Anthropic and some of these other types of plays?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Second, Schmidt threw out a comment about TikTok. Really, it was about all startups, saying if you're starting a business, go ahead and steal whatever you can, like music, and make it big, and then you can afford lawyers. So, I mean,
There's a
that's
truth to
wheels
that.
off. Just actually,
There's
of course, there's a truth to it.
there's
It's
a truth to that.
just go ahead and steal everything. It's on
Yeah,
the internet. Go ahead and
yeah,
steal it,
yeah.
and then
Hmm.
make a lot of money, and then the lawyers will clean it up afterwards.
Yeah.
The last one is AI, according to Schmidt, will make the rich richer and the poor poorer, as it's a game for strong countries, and those without resources will be left behind. So that was actually kind of a kick in the balls. But
Mm.
I can see what I mean, if you're not developing all of this AI,
Yeah.
let's say, Spain, just pick on a random country. If you're not building it, you're going to have to buy it or lease it from someone else or not have it at all, which means that you're definitely going to be left in the dust. So,
Right.
anyhow, Eric Schmidt, CEO, he's a CEO at Google for 10 years and just wheels off
I
behavior. I mean, maybe this is just him being honest, and this isn't anything unusual, but it was
Yep.
just some of the things he said, and that was just three. There's a whole list of things
Yeah.
that he said, so
Yeah.
definitely go
I
check
I
it out.
did I did see snippets of the video. That was pretty funny. All right. Here's
Yeah,
another Google story. Another Google story.
let's
So
go
Google
Google.
paid right, $2.7 billion to rehire. I'm going to get his name wrong. Noam Shazir.
Yep, nope,
All right.
no,
2.7 Noam. There you go. Noam Shazir. $2.7 billion to rehire this guy, which technically isn't a rehire. It's more of a licensing deal. But here's the
right,
story. They messed up big. Clearly, they messed up big time. They let this guy walk. So he built a chatbot called Mina, along with another Google engineer, and put it forward as this is going to be the next iteration of Google. This is going to potentially be larger than Google ever was. This is going to interact with humans. It's going to have real conversations, so on and so forth. They didn't believe it. It built it, and they didn't believe it, and they had issues with the safety concerns. They had issues
right.
with it being fair. All of the compliance issues that we know and talk about today. Anyway, he left. He built Character.ai, which just blew up and is kicking ass. And now they're bringing it back. They're bringing him back, and they're paying $2.7 billion to do so, mostly through a licensing deal. This is Google saying we fucked up.
Yeah,
This is Google
and
saying,
you know
hey
what?
guys,
I don't hate that actually. I
no,
mean, first of all, they had them. This is what you do with top talent. Top talent, if you don't encourage them and you
right,
don't support them, then they leave and they go build cool shit.
yeah,
And
which is not always a
so
bad
that's a
thing.
big price tag. No, it's not a bad thing. It's
Mhm.
just $2.7 million that could have been, I don't
Yeah.
know, used for
If
some
I
other
made
things.
that, if I made that mistake, I'd be fired. I'm just saying.
100%. Ryan, are you familiar with Udemy?
Udemy. I always say
Udemy?
Udemy. I say Udemy. Yeah,
It's probably Udemy because
it
it's a
probably
U,
is.
not to be confused with the U. So, but you're familiar with basically the
Oh
model,
yeah.
right? Okay, so Udemy recently announced that it would train generative AI on all the classes that its users contribute to the site. Not only were the class teachers automatically opted in to having their classes used as training, Udemy said teachers would have only a 3-week window to opt out of training, and that
Mm.
window has passed. So this is on 404media.co.
Mm.
It's kind of an independent media site, so go take a look at that. My analysis is it kind of seems shitty,
Mm.
or at least they could have communicated it differently or better.
Yeah,
Some teachers depend on Udemy for income, so
they do.
essentially their content could be used to replace them. So
Yeah.
there's that, which again probably is going to happen a lot. But this just the optics of this just again, if you're going to do that, first of all, generative AI, train that, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. All that stuff makes sense. But let the people know
Right.
and let
Don't
them
just
know and
spring
give
it
them enough
upon.
time in advance.
Right.
No, that was
Don't
not
just
needed.
spring it on.
Not needed.
By the way, I love 404 Media. Just the name itself is
It's a good,
pretty cool.
yeah,
I
it's a good site.
I do like it. All right. Have you ever heard of a burner job?
No, I have not. Do tell.
Not
What
not
do
to
we
be
got here?
confused with a burner phone. Okay, well, you know what? No,
I
maybe. maybe
I've
kind
had
of a,
those.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm
you
comfortable with
probably
that.
have had those. Um,
I have.
it's probably you probably related, right? So 42% of U.S. workers have either held a burner job or considered taking one. So what is a burner job, you ask? That's a great question, William. Burner jobs are temporary or short-term jobs held only for the paycheck with no intention of staying the distance, never staying along for long term. But I mean, I kind of feel like I know where you're going to go with this.
Yeah.
Isn't every job a
Hey.
burner job unless it's like your own thing, right? Like if I'm
Yeah. Let's.
making $20 and you're going to offer me $25,
It's burner job.
I'm going to go. If you're offering me 100,000 and you're
Yeah.
giving me 150, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Burner jobs,
Until proven otherwise. I think this gets back to your points on loyalty.
right?
Several times we've talked about loyalty, and you've
Mm-hmm.
been like, we've lost loyalty on both sides.
Yeah,
We've lost loyalty, and again, okay, so this is just a quiet quitting, or one of these terms that basically says it's kind of coming up for a new way of thinking, but really, burner jobs,
yeah.
all jobs are burner jobs
This is I
until
need
they're
to pay.
not.
I need to pay my mortgage job. This is what that
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
whatever.
Burner
Burner
job
jobs. Play with it.
to go along with your burner phone and burner family and any other burner things that you might have.
Yeah.
All right.
You make jokes about burner families, but I know somebody who has one now, which I was not aware of. That's pretty cool. Well, for
There you go. All right. 75% of millennial women are concerned about managing menopause symptoms at work, believing they will be moderate to severe challenge, according to a recent Carrot Report, Menopause in the Workplace 2024. You can get that at www.get-carrot with a C.com. So stats like this for me are staggering. And my hope is that with more female leaders, we'll have more benefits that are tailored to things like this. And so, as I was reading this article, of course, I'm looking at it and going, if men had menopause, so if we suffered through that hell, how fast do you think that we would have menopause benefits?
like
Like that shit would
probably
have been
before we
done
had it.
20 years
Yeah.
ago, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So again, yet another kind of an equity issue is how we look at benefits and how we tailor benefits to men and women and
Right.
everything else. So
I would jump to say
75.
men don't
Go
even
ahead.
know that they don't exist
No,
today.
no, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially millennial women. So that's what's interesting to me is they're thinking about the future of work and how menopause will jack up their life and how it'll jack up their work. And so
Right.
they're thinking about it. And this isn't 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds thinking about menopause. These are younger women. So, anywho, 75%, big number. Go take a look at the report because they also had other stats in it that were pretty fast.
Right. You got one more? Go for it.
Okay, well, let's do AI assistants, right? AI assistants, you're going to love this, are blabbering and embarrassing work secrets. Workplace AI tools can do the task by themselves. Getting them to stop is the problem. So this was on the Washington Post.com.
Wait, so are you saying like it's telling things about me?
Yeah.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. Right. Ryan hates country music.
What?
So they're learning all this stuff about you, do the task, great. And then they're telling other employees about you. Yeah.
What is it telling about me though? If I don't tell it anything,
everything it knows. Well, again, it's listening when you're not thinking it's listening. So it knows more about you than you think, right? That's just natural.
That's yeah.
So
I forget.
So this is about risk. And so, hello, my name is Risk. Have we ever met? And I think what it comes down to is guardrails. We and bots need guardrails. We've got a lot of guardrails for employees and for leaders. Good. We don't have as many guardrails for what bots can do other than the task. So I think that we'll see in the future a lot of this type of stuff says, just do this task. That's it. And if people ask questions, That's it. That's you have one
Right.
job, go do this job, which it is fascinating to think about conversational bots and them just having a conversation. You asked about William. Well, yeah, he his favorite
Well,
color is turquoise. I mean,
let me
it
tell
just
you what William did yesterday. Mm,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. I think
Yeah.
I think you went to the bathroom like 19 times. Like, whoa.
He took that nap
So
and, like
he took that nap. That's self-help. That's
that
wellness
that
is what
that
that
is
is.
self-care
Anyhow,
wellness. That's
it's
fully
self-care.
Mhm.
Self-care. But anyhow, keep an eye on this because it's bots doing the job of
Yep.
what we want. But the unintended consequence is where I
Right.
think some of this is interesting.
Now, how much of that is hallucinations? That's, I would feel like I was lying. Definitely not true. Anyway, acquisition time. We'll talk some acquisitions.
Do. Let's
All
do it.
right.
What do we got?
So,
A.
yeah. So General Atlantic 1.6, 1.06, sorry, $1 billion
Uh,
takeover of LTG Learning Technologies Group. So I found this one on Reuters, and I think you'll like this one because we do a lot of work in this space with Cornerstone, et
right.
cetera. But so I think this acquisition proves that corporate training is actually important, right? I think it's always
Yeah.
I should say always been thrown to the wayside, but I don't think
Right.
unless you're in learning, if you're in that group, like you're in that area, it's important.
Right.
Outside of that, you just bitch about it and complain about it, but it's actually important.
100%.
So we saw this a couple years ago, Cornerstone's acquisition of SumTotal. So that
Yep.
expanded Cornerstone deeper into learning. But two things to note here in this acquisition. I kind of looked at it from your point of view because I know
Uh-huh.
you just have an amazing point of view on this stuff.
Stop.
Um, just stroke the ego. But I don't want to
Stop.
get shot. I just don't want to get shot. I saw you shoot now. Private equity is fascinated with HR tech, especially in learning platforms. And two, reskilling,
Right.
upskilling is driving all of this. So if you go back and look at where a lot of money is actually being spent and where innovation is happening, it's in learning, it's in upskilling, and that's a lot of the conversation that we're hearing today as well. So I thought this is an interesting one and one to
It's
follow.
a big number. Good for
It is a
them.
big number. It is a big
Again,
number.
all the analysis is spot on. Learning for compliance sake is boring as fuck. But
Right.
once you get learning over the hump to skilling and upskilling and reskilling, learning is actually really cool and can
Right.
do a lot of transformational things. So spot on. Good acquisition. Teamfront strengthens its commitment to field services providers, software founders with its acquisition of Accelerate. It's a restoration job management software. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, what this is on prweb.com, so you can go take a look at it. It's a strategic acquisition, like we've seen a lot in the last couple of weeks. Teamfront, a strategic partner for founder-owned field services software companies. Check.
Mm.
Acquired Accelerate, a provider of job management software for the restoration industry. Help me, help you. So this is just a bit that, again, this is a great acquisition because they're actually going to be able to help their customers even more by providing talent or
Right.
access to talent, I should say. So, great acquisition.
Awesome. Do you know? I know you know the company Smart.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Okay. So as a dramatic
Yeah.
pause there, but
Hmm.
I
Okay.
did not know this. I know Smartsheets, but did you know that they are currently used by over 90% of Fortune 500 companies? I did not know
No,
that.
that's shocking. That's
That's
shocking.
yeah, that is some serious penetration, right? That is like it's in there. I didn't realize that. Anyhow, so Smartsheet is being taken private. So this means more innovation faster, right? So you've actually we've talked about this and you've kind of led me more down this path than I was prior, but we're seeing this more and more where companies are being taken private again.
Mhm.
And that's to help drive the innovation. I think that's really what the focus is here is they want to innovate. They're already in the world's largest companies. They need to
Yeah.
innovate faster and they need to do it better. And they feel that this is
Sometimes
going to
it's
be the way
to
to do
deal
it.
with debt, technical debt, and financial debt.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard to do that with Wall Street, staring
Breathing
at you
down
all
your
the
neck.
time.
Yeah.
breathing down your neck is a way that you could phrase that. I mean, Kronos did it, Ceridian did it. There's a bunch of companies in our particular space that were public, that took their companies private to basically clean them up with innovation and
right. So this was
take them public again.
This was $8.4 billion. I forgot to say that.
I noticed that that was a combination of Blackstone and Vista, which I don't see. I haven't seen them do a lot of work together, but that's cool. It's actually, I mean, that is a huge number, and it makes sense that you'd have two partners go in on it. There you go. You got another one. Let's go. What do you got?
I do. What do I have? Let's see. Oh, Salesforce. Salesforce acquires Zoom. Yeah. So this is a cool one. So this one's kind of like a little while back, Salesforce acquired a company called Own, which is an AI-based data management play.
Right.
So I think this is more of a continuation of that. They align really, really well together. From their website, they say that they're an AI-driven knowledge platform that organizes and centralizes unstructured company documentation. So think self-service chat, self-service employee chat, technical support, all of the above. Take all of your guides, all of your documentation, internal memo, everything. Structure it, put it together, and create that, right? So not new, but they do it really, really well, a la Salesforce acquisition.
Don't bet against Salesforce. Don't bet against Salesforce.
Nope.
And they're dumping money, and rightfully so. They're dumping a ton of money into AI.
They are. Yes, they are. So there you go.
So, all right, Ryan, let's do a little research. You ready?
Research. What about research?
46% of workers, ready? 46% of workers fear skill being obsolete within 5 years as AI reshapes the workforce, according to Kahoot, 2024 Workplace Culture Report. That's at Kahoot.com with a K. That's a considerable fear of being obsolete number. 46 is almost half. If you're not, in my opinion, if you're not thinking about reskilling your workforce, you're already behind.
Yeah.
So if your employees are feeling that way, that they're going to be obsolete, and you're not reskilling, well, it's going to be kind of self-fulfilling.
Yeah. You're going to lose.
Will be obsolete.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose. So go ahead and take a look at that report. It had some other cool factoids in it.
Yeah, we interviewed, I can't remember the name. Who do we interview from Kahoot? Do you remember? This is a while back. Yeah, I remember. I can't remember. It'll come to me, but maybe we'll tag it down below. Anyhow, check them out. So, okay. This one I thought I had to throw this in here because I thought this one was worthy of laughing. 79% of CEOs say remote work will be dead in 3 years or less. This is a recent survey.
These are the musicians on the Titanic. Right. I love it.
So these are those guys had the shittiest job in the world. You can call that self-fulfilling or whatever, but you're going down.
Yeah.
Like, what else are you going to do? Why not? Yeah. I get it, right? Anyway, this is a KPMG survey.
Might as well play music.
Might as well, right? So 79%. Yeah, it says 79% of corporate CEOs believe remote work will largely disappear within 3 years. So many CEOs, they also found many CEOs plan to incentivize office workers with promotions, raises, and benefits for encouraging employees to come back into the office. Now,
it's a different class of citizenry. Like this is going back to the Constitution of 3/5 human.
Right.
So all we're doing. I mean, that's a little dark. I get it.
I was going to say, however, maybe a little different, but yeah.
No, really, it isn't. You're human if you're in the office. You're less than human if you're not in the office. No, it's not different.
So
it's dark.
Yeah. Well, so here's my take on the situation. This is the only take that matters. RTO mandates are layoff notices in disguise. That's it. It's 100%. Cheaper. It's a lot less messy. It's easier to get rid of people. You're not following the mandate. You can't come into the office. This is what we're doing. Peace out, homie. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a RIF, but I don't think so.
You create a policy. No, instead of doing a RIF, you create a policy that's just really unpopular and people leave.
That's right. Anyhow, check it out. KPMG ESG survey.
I'm following your lead here with this one. 20% of workers admit to ignoring return to office rules.
Well, I guess
They
y'all
like
gonna be
that.
without a job.
Resumebuilder.com. This is surveyed over. This is what I like about this particular survey is they surveyed over 1,000 U.S. based full-time employees working for companies that implemented an RTO policy since 2020, requiring employees to go back in office at least once weekly. The number is low, 20%, but I believe it will grow. And 3 other nuggets from the report. Let me do those real quick. The majority of workers want it to be in the office 3 days or less per week. 2, many workers will quit if their company forces compliance, to your point. 3, 68% say productivity would improve if they could choose their own schedule. Man, it's what's fascinating about these two things is the forces are so opposed to one another. CEOs, again, everyone's got to be back in the office. You've got employees saying, yeah, you know what? Our productivity would be, if we could just design our own schedule, our productivity would go up.
Right.
There's got to be, this is going to come to a head.
Yeah.
I mean, in every company. So anyhow, take a look at the report. It's actually really well put together.
Let me ask you this. Can you, this is divisive. I get it. Polarizing topic, but CEOs that make $10 million a year, CEOs that make $10 million a year and get ragged on for making more money than a frontline worker who makes the company go, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
This is kind of the parallel argument for me. So a CEO of a Fortune 500 company is extremely different than a frontline worker at a company. Like, they are doing things that you can't even fathom, that we don't even know they do in order to get the 50,000 people paid every day. They make the company go. Now, there are arguments pro and con, or for and against that. This is kind of that same argument for me. I always feel this way where it's like executives want the people to be in the office. That's all we ever knew. That's all we ever knew. So making that change that quickly, shock to the system, right? I get it, right? Now, I'm all for remote. Got it. But I can also see the other side of this saying, look, we're, one of the largest retailers or whatever in the world. I can't have 50,000 people working at home. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how to run the company that way.
The job dictates some of the jobs in some industries. It's a non-starter. If you're a maid at a hotel,
gotta be there.
Then you're going to be at the office. Like, that's okay, done. I think the interesting thing that you're bringing up is the pay disparity argument that's been around for a long time is justified in some ways.
Sure.
And those that have more important tasks or more important jobs, they can work however the hell they want to work. Those that don't, well, this is a good time to reskill.
Exactly.
Or start your own business.
Look,
or do something different.
We could be worth $2.7 billion just like Gnome can as well, right? We could have went and did that.
That's all right. There's nothing special about Gnome. All righty. 90% of the workers over 40 experience ageism in the workplace. It's at resumenow.com. That's a dash between resume and now. That's a fucking huge number. 90% is huge. And 40 is old, which, of course, I'm thinking, like, really? So for everyone listening, ageism manifest in hiring practices, pay disparities, and workplace dynamics. We probably need to check in with our teams to ensure that we're not part of the 90%. It's a big number, and it scares me because it's such a big number, and people over 40 feel like this is a thing for them. I think that it's good for HR. Check in and make sure, especially on those three fronts, make sure that they're not paying younger workers more than they're paying older workers. Stuff like that. So there you go.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a problem. This is actually going to be a harder problem to solve than it feels like. Anyhow, okay, 2025 Siegel Health Plan Cost Trend Survey found that the highest projected rate of increase for all health benefit plan costs across the board is for outpatient drug, prescription drugs. 11.4%. That's the number. So, yeah, it's a lot,
that
right?
hurts.
Yeah. So think specialty drugs like GLP-1s.
Right.
These are the largest, right? But I don't think this is a new thing. This is like kind of an all the time thing. So where it's not
a big
shocking.
number, though.
It is a big number, but it's not shocking to me.
11.4% is a big number. No, going up is not shocking. Insurance doesn't go down. Check.
No.
Here's at 11.
No.
But 11.4% is that's significant.
Yeah.
Usually it's up by 3% or up by 2.5%, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a big number, and I think it's consumption. There's so many people that are using specialty prescriptions that they're trying to recoup those costs. So
yeah,
I get it. It's scary, but you know what? When come January, our health insurance is going to go up.
Don't say that.
News at 11.
Don't say that. All right. You want to talk some funding? You want me to go first?
Let's do the F.
All right. I'll take the first one here. So OpenAI takes another $6.6 billion in funding. That is a massive number. That blows up their valuation. $157 billion now. So this is the largest funding round of all time, unseating one of its former co-founders and your personal friend, Elon Musk. So he's now in Texas, right? So he's now your friend.
100%.
So he is no longer the record holder of the most funding for a round. There you go. Anyhow, second, the round was led by Thrive Capital and also included Microsoft and NVIDIA. So, what do we know, right? We're a little guy, but my super secret sources, because I just have amazing sources, tell me that this is a lot of money and it's going to lead to good things. So I'm a believer.
I like OpenAI. I like ChatGPT. I would advise everyone that's a Netflix customer to watch the 4-part series with Bill Gates. The first one is on AI, and it's fucking terrifying.
This is the one that has won't let you sleep at night.
Oh no, it'll wreck you. This is Blair Witch, mostly because the OpenAI founders is talking about how AI will learn from itself. So it's going to learn from you, and then it's going to learn from itself. Then it's going to keep learning from itself, and keep learning from itself. Keep. And at one point, we're not going to know how it's learning or what it's learning.
Yeah, and it's never going to teach you back.
Where it's just like, it's doing its own thing. Good luck.
Yeah.
So that there is a part that's unsettling. However, I don't think we can stop that. It's just a kind of a part of where we are. I did see someone refer to this might have been Schmidt that referred to AI as the advent of electricity. And I really like that because I've always thought of it as the advent of the internet, but he kind of, I'm pretty sure I can attribute it to Schmidt, Eric Schmidt. And he's like, we're here. We can now turn on light bulbs, but there's a bunch of stuff coming in the future that we're not even conceiving, which was just like electricity. So anyhow, if you like metaphors,
there you go.
Then you can use the internet or electricity. All right.
Yeah, and look, another thing on this real quick.
You ready?
Another thing on this real quick. So Google bringing Noman, spending $2.7 billion, so they're not falling behind these guys, right? That's how much OpenAI is pushing.
Well, Salesforce. You mentioned Salesforce dumping money into
as
AI.
well.
Meta's dumping money. Yep. Everyone's dumping money into AI.
Yeah,
because they don't want to get outflanked.
Salesforce, I believe it was Salesforce, said they pledged $500 million to their AI startups over the next certain number of years. Yeah. I mean, these companies see it, and OpenAI is the leader right now. So there you go.
All right, let's do another one here. EGYM, if you want to just call it that, a connected fitness startup conceived after the founder hit the wall at the gym, lands $200 million at a $1.2 billion valuation.
Explain this to me.
This is on TechCrunch.com. Oh yeah. So it's the connected gym is basically you're not just in the gym, it follows you wherever you are. So it connects if you're doing some stuff at home, it connects that. So it connects everything you're doing. So think
Mm.
Fitbit plus the
Hmm.
things you do in the gym, plus the things that you do at work. If you're doing push-ups or you're doing stuff at work, it connects all that shit. So
Okay.
everything that you do in the gym, not in the gym, it connects all that. But what's fascinating to me is they have an enterprise solution for wellness. And that's what we should be looking at because of the connectivity between health, rising health insurance or health costs, and wellness programs is legit. So I
Mm.
like this play. I like
Hmm.
this play because I think it's going to help people, not just personal, which is cool, but it's actually going to help people at work.
Yeah.
So
I want to
EGM,
know, he started the company after hitting a wall at the gym, like hitting a wall,
yeah,
like plateauing, or like
yeah,
literally hitting
yeah,
a wall.
plateauing.
Okay. Okay. That I just want to
I can
make
see it
sure,
both
like,
ways.
did he hit the wall and like
He
ding,
hurt his head. Yeah,
All
fair, fair,
right.
fair.
ADP is this, so this has not happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming down the pike. So I want to put it in there
Right.
because I'm gonna probably forget about it until the news line hits. But ADP is nearing a
Yeah.
$1.2 billion deal for workforce software. So I
Okay.
first saw this on LinkedIn. I was curious to pique my interest, so I clicked through. I know this isn't why they're acquiring the company, but first off, their
Uh-huh.
website is phenomenal. So if you're into websites, you're into
Yeah.
design and all, their
Yeah.
website is just beautiful. It looks good. It plays well. The calculators on there, and this is part of what I like about it. Calculators on the site, they use kind of the fear around compliance, which is their business. Um,
100%.
which I have zero reason to purchase or care about other than, what we do for a living. But it made me not want to click off the site. I felt like I needed to be there because when
No,
you
it's
use the
cool.
calculators, it's actually showing here's not just what you're saving, here's what that means, right? And it was around
Right.
compliance and risk and benefits and all that stuff. And so workforce software
It's
for those
it's a
that
cool play.
it is. So workforce software for those who don't know covers all things like time and attendance, payroll, compliance, labor
Yeah.
tracking, forecasting. So deal's not done yet, but it is big and
Yep.
it's looking kind of juicy. So excited to see this one come
It's
down.
it's a great acquisition. ADP does
Mm-hmm.
really smart acquisitions to round
Yeah.
out things. Like they don't really care about the payroll that workforce software does.
No, they have their own.
That's not the bit. Workforce software was, and I believe it still is headquartered in Detroit,
Yep.
and it was the nearest competitor to Kronos in time and attendance.
Mm.
And so they built other types of things in there and just rolled on along. One of my buddies, Howard Turnoff, who also worked at Ceridian, Dayforce, etc., he was their chief revenue officer at one point. I like the play. First of all, I think
Huh?
it's just great for ADP because they're going to look at whatever they're doing in payroll and convert that to ADP payroll, like
Well, sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
But all of these other things that they don't have great applications with, it just got them into a bunch of markets.
That's
So
right. That's right.
great. That's great. That's technically an acquisition,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. No,
So,
it
all
will
right,
be an
but
acquisition. Yeah, it just hasn't closed yet. Hasn't happened
once
yet.
it gets
Yes.
done. So, Hollywood payroll startup Rapbook raises $20 million to compete with and kind of entrenched rivals. I found this
Mm.
on the HollywoodReporter.com, which is an actually really, really fun site to go to if you like movies, TV shows, and all the things that happen in Hollywood. It's like variety.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that Hollywood payroll was a thing. so, so my first learn was they don't use ADP or Paychecks or like all the other
Mm-hmm.
things. No, they don't. They have their own specialized because they've got different types of workers. So they've got
Hmm.
producers and they've got people that are doing boom mics. So they've actors. They've got a different kind of a way to look at payroll, and it's based on the time period of
Yeah.
when that person's working on a TV show. So it's like it is legit different.
I
Get it?
would love to
So I didn't know it was a
be
thing.
I would love to be in the office and see those paychecks.
I would too. I
Yeah.
would too.
I just want to
I
know.
would like to run those. Here's Brad Pitt's. Oh wow, that's $30 million.
In
Huh.
royalties, not even
Guess
a paycheck.
I'll just guess. I'm sure a
Yeah,
lot of that's on EFT now, but
I'm
someone's got to
sure.
keep track of it. But
Mhm.
the money's from Bessemer Venture Partners, which, like Andreessen, like General Atlantic, they usually make smart plays. Like it's smart money. They
Mhm.
usually bet smart. So
Good.
take a look at Rap Book, and now you know that Hollywood operates with payroll differently.
They do their own thing. All right. Fathom, if you know
Turns out,
Fathom is the note taker, raises $17 million to transform AI driven media or meeting intelligence. So I used Fathom in the past. I didn't think it was amazing.
hmm
They've gotten better,
yeah.
but I've
Well,
stopped using them before they got better just because we're on G Suite and it does its own thing. So anyhow, Fathom is the what I did not know. They are the most installed and widely used note taker in both Zoom and in HubSpot. So therein lies why
really.
and the win.
Hmm.
So anyhow, so they did have a seed round. This is their A round, 17 million A round. They did have a seed round.
Good. That's
Terms were
a
not,
fantastic A round.
yeah, yeah, and terms weren't disclosed on their seed round. However, the company's young. They started in 2021, so like
hmm
they're young. They're doing really well, and they've done most of it on $0 and bootstrapping as much as they can. So good for them. Interested to see where they go.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna burn through a couple of these, right?
Go for it.
Jump raises 12 million to help freelancers get benefits just like employees. It's
Hmm.
on techcrunch.com. Long time coming, and I fucking love this. It's good for everyone involved. Go Jump. That's $12 million for freelancers and benefits. That's awesome. Number, which is spelt NMBR, secures 7.6 million to bring modern payroll products to Canada, helping companies launch
Hmm.
payroll offerings to increase revenue and customer retention. This is on Business Wire. Uh, first of all, I love the company name, so I'll just
Hmm.
say that. And payroll in Canada is different. I remember when Ceridian was they've set up basically a Canadian branch of in Toronto for
Hmm.
just all of Canada because it's completely different than the United States. So, they're either going numbers either going to get dominant or get acquired.
Right.
That's just kind of the way that's going to play out in front of us.
Okay.
So, but good for Canada
Yeah.
to our friends up north that we haven't annexed yet. Joya, Joya, everyone hates that,
not
launches
not to
from
be
stealth
confused with
mode.
the Goya.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
Goya or the artist Goya. Joya, Joy A, launches from stealth mode with 5 million for the first skin cancer prevention and anti-aging employee benefit platform.
Wow.
So
Nice.
let that sink in. That's
Pretty
pretty
cool.
cool. That's Business Wire. If
Mm.
you want to learn a little bit more about that, or you go to Joya's website. I think that sounds like a cool benefit, and that a benefit that might actually get usage. So I
Hmm.
love it. I like niche benefits. I like
Yeah.
giving employees a whole array and letting them pick the shit that makes sense for their life.
Yeah.
And if that's a thing for you, I think it's great. So
More
good for them.
more and more I become a fan of niche benefits. And even when companies do kind of a pay as you go model, so it's not part of
Right,
their plan per se where they're buying in volume, but it's we're going to have this.
right.
If 50 people out of 200 use it, we pay for 50 seats.
That's right.
Big
That's right.
fan of that. Big fan of that.
Last funding, Arya Health. That's ARYA. Secures 4 million to transform healthcare human capital management with AI. This
Mm.
is on bakersfield.com. They cover the space. I'm down personally. I'm down if AI can help drive down healthcare costs and increase usage of benefits.
Mm.
So if AI can help do that, totally down. I think we need to keep an eye on not just this startup, but this category.
Yeah.
So
I like the
that's
idea
it.
that
That's all I
AI
got.
can help increase usage.
Yeah.
That's key
Yeah.
because there's a lot that goes unused. Anyhow, yeah, you're right. We're done.
Right.
That's it. So this has been a wonderful week. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. We shall see you next time.